All right, everybody, Super Jaxer1 here. Now, you're in for a big treat. I'm going to do a reshowing of my Marvel Cinematic Universe Blu-ray collection. Yep, I have all 34 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies on Blu-ray. Yeah, this will be my first time reshowing it in almost 6 years because the only other time I showed this collection was back in November of 2018. That was more than 6 years ago. Man, I can't believe it. How has it already been that long? I still remember making that video like it was recently. Yeah, that was before we even had the title for Endgame. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to show these all in order. So let's just go ahead and get started because we got a lot to go through. We're going to do these all in order. So we're going to start with Phase 1, and these first 22 Blu-rays are going to be the Infinity Saga. So first up, we're starting off with Iron Man, the very first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie ever released, being released in movie theaters in May of 2008. And this is a reissue Blu-ray from 2017. I got this at Walmart in North Carolina back at I think it was at the late June, early July of 2018. Fortunately, it didn't come with a slipcover. But anyway, here we got the spine and the back. A Thrill-A-Minute blockbuster stayed by Jeffrey Lyons of Lyons and Bell's Real Talk. Bonus features got Hall of Armor, The Invincible Iron Man HD, and deleted and extended scenes. I'm going to open this up. Here's the digital copy code, and then here's the disc. It's a blue disc, and you can see the Paramount logo on here, and the Paramount logo appears at the beginning of the movie, because this was back when, for the first couple MCU films, prior to the Avengers, with the exception of one, which I'll talk about in a moment, they were all distributed by Paramount. This was before Disney bought Marvel. All right, so yeah, Iron Man, really, really, really good movie. All right, the next MCU film released was The Incredible Hulk. This was released to theaters in June of 2008, just a month after Iron Man came out. And I got this Blu-ray. This is also a reissue. I believe this is also from 2017. I got this at Walmart in North Carolina back at the very beginning of June of 2018, just a few weeks before I got the Iron Man Blu-ray. And this is the only MCU film that was distributed by Universal, because the thing is, though, is that Universal Pictures owns the rights to the Incredible Hulk character. So that's why, like, they're not a lot. There has never been a follow-up to this movie because, like, the MCU, they can use the Hulk character, like, in crossover stuff, but they can't make an actual Hulk movie without Universal's involvement, and they don't want to do that. Yeah. And this is the only MCU film. This is kind of the same as that. This movie has Edward Norton playing Bruce Banner, aka the Incredible Hulk. Later on, they recasted him. I'll go into more about that later. Yeah, this is probably one of the most underrated and overhated MCU films. I actually like this movie. I think it's really good. This probably has the best accurate depiction of the Hulk, if you ask me. Here we got the spine, back. No critic review on the back. For bonus, you got alternate opening, delete scenes, the making of the Incredible Hulk, becoming the Abomination, anatomy of a Hulk out, from comic book to screen. You control Thunderbolt files. You control Scene Explorer. You control comic book gallery. You control animated comic. You control picture-in-picture, and a feature commentary with director Louis Leterrier and actor Tim Roth. I'm going to open this up. See, there's the digital copy code. And here's the disc. And as artwork, you could see the Incredible Hulk, a.k.a. Bruce Banner. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk is honestly not a bad movie. I personally really, really, really enjoy this movie. All right. And the next MCU film released was Iron Man 2. This movie first opened in theaters in May of 2010, and I got this Blu-ray for Christmas in 2017 from my mother. Here we got the spine, back, again, no critic review. Bonus years got S.H.I.E.L.D., Data Vault, an in-depth look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a commentary, and more. Disc 2 has Ultimate Iron Man 4-part making of documentary, HD, 6 behind-the-scenes origins featuring Creating Stark Expo, the origins of Black Widow and War Machine, 8 deleted scenes, HD, and more. Yep. And Iron Man 2, this is honestly probably my second least favorite MCU film. I don't know, it's very, very forgettable. And honestly, this is the one MCU sequel that really feels like a cash grab and nothing else. It really just only sets up, it's just watching, if you ever want a proper introduction to Black Widow, who was played by, a.k.a. Natasha Romanoff, who was played by the excellent Scarlett Johansson. But aside from that, you can really skip this movie and not miss anything. And since this was owned by Paramount, it's greatest. Here's disc 1, which is the Blu-ray disc with the movie. Here's disc 2, which is the Blu-ray disc with the bonus features. And here's disc 3, which is the DVD. Yeah. Iron Man 2, I got to rewatch it, but I remember just not being too crazy on it. I know this was also the very last Iron Man film that Jon Favreau directed, because, yes, Jon Favreau, he directed the first Iron Man film and this one. He also has an acting role. He plays the character of Happy Hogan as well, who's made several appearances in several different MCU films. So, yeah, there we go on that. All right. And the next MCU film released was Thor. This came out in theaters in May of 2011, and I got this Blu-ray for Christmas the same day as I got the Iron Man 2 Blu-ray. Both got Spectacular, stayed by USA Today. Anyway, here we got the spine and the back from the studio that brought you Iron Man. And thrilling, entertaining, and cool stayed by Harry Noels of Ain't It Cool News. For most of you, got a commentary by director Kenneth Branagh, one Marvel one-shot, The Consult, 7 featurettes, Road to Avengers, 11 deleted scenes, and more. Yeah, this is the only Thor movie that Kenneth Branagh directed. Anyway, we got a digital copy code. Here's the Blu-ray disc, which is a blue disc, since this is a Paramount Blu-ray, and then here's the DVD, which is a gray disc. But yeah, Thor, not a bad movie. All right, and the next film released was Captain America: The First Avenger. This was released to theaters in July of 2011, and I got this Blu-ray from my sister Bridget's friend. I think it was Caitlin. It was one of her friends that she worked with. She got this for me because I let her borrow a few of my other MCU Blu-rays, and she just got this for me as a gift. So I thank you for that. Anyway, here we got the spine. And this was the last MCU film that was distributed by Paramount in the back. And again, no critic review. For most of you, just got Marvel One Shot. A funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer. The assembly begins. 6 featurettes, deleted scenes, a commentary, and more. Yeah. And this is the only Captain America film that Joe Johnston directed. Here we got the digital copy code and blue disc. Most of the discs on here don't have artwork. But yeah, there you go with Captain America: The First Avenger. I got to rewatch this film. I've only seen it a couple times. I remember finding it kind of boring, but I'll rewatch it soon. All right, next up we have the big one. This is, The Avengers. This was released to theaters in May of 2012. And this was the first MCU film I had seen in theaters. Yeah, I saw this on Memorial Day of 2012. My cousins wanted to see it, and they invited me to go. And even though I knew nothing about it, I just said, okay. I don't really remember much from that viewing of the movie, aside from ones, like full scenes. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I never really watched the film all the way through again until I, bought this Blu-ray. I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy in Warwick, Rhode Island. I got it the day after Christmas of 2017. It was either the day after Christmas or the day after, or the day right after, or 2 days after Christmas. It was one of those two. Yeah. But yeah, and this is the first MCU film to be distributed by Disney, because Disney bought Marvel in 2009. But the Paramount thing on here, because there's part of this contractual agreement where when Disney bought Marvel, Paramount was still set to distribute this film and Iron Man 3, but because Disney bought them, they came up with a compromise where Paramount's name and logo would appear at the beginning of this film and all the marketing. But this is still a Disney film, though, because at the very end of the end credits, it has that thing saying distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Yeah. This was also the first MCU film to have Mark Ruffalo playing Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. Yeah, Edward Norton. There's been multiple stories about why he left the role and why he was removed from the role. You could probably look up those, and you probably have heard those stories before. But they recasted him with Mark Ruffalo. And Ruffalo's been playing Bruce Banner ever since then. Anyway, here we got the spine and the back. A blockbuster that will blow away all your senses by Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. Most years got Marvel one-shot item 47 original short film, a visual journey, a gag reel, deleted scenes, and Live to Rise Soundgarden music video. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is an awesome movie. Here we got the digital copy code, and here's the disc. It's a blue disc. And yep. Yeah, The Avengers, great movie. And next up we have, that was the end of Phase 1. Now we're on to Phase 2, starting with Iron Man 3. The best Iron Man yet, stayed by Scott Mantz of Access Hollywood. I got this Blu-ray for Christmas in 2017, the same day as I got the Thor and Iron Man 2 Blu-ray. And this movie, by the way, this came out in theaters in May of 2013. This was also released by Disney, but it has the Paramount thing on here. This was the last MCU film to do that. But yeah, this is the only Iron Man film that Jon Favreau didn't direct. Instead, it was directed by Shane Black. But Jon Favreau, he did come back to reprise his role as Happy Hogan in this movie. And I'm going to be honest, this is actually my favorite of the Iron Man movies. I know this is often considered one of the worst MCU films, but I don't know. I really liked this movie even more than the first one. I don't know why. I found the story to be far more interesting and entertaining. Anyway, here we got the spine and the back. A superhero thrill ride is stated by Owen Gilbert of Entertainment Weekly. Yep. Well, you just got Marvel One-Shot, Agent Carter, Marvel's Iron Man 3, Jarvis, a second screen experience, Deconstructing the Science, Attack on Air Force One, exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Marvel's Thor: The Dark World, Marvel's Iron Man 3 Unmasked, a gag reel, deleting extended scenes, and more. Yeah. I understand a lot of people weren't too crazy on the Mandarin twist. Like, they think that's what ruined the movie, but oh, man, it was kind of stupid, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. Anyway, here we got the Blu-ray disc, and then here's the DVD disc. I don't know why these stickers on here. I'm guessing my mom got this from either a Cumberland Farms or maybe a Rite Aid store, because sometimes they put the disc like that on these stickers on the disc. I don't know. But the disc obviously still work. But yeah, Iron Man 3, personally, I really enjoyed this movie. All right. And next up, we have Thor: The Dark World. This was released in theaters in November of 2013. And I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy the same day as I got the Avengers Blu-ray. And I'm going to be honest, I think this is probably the weakest MCU film. I don't know. I know it had a very troubled production. There was a director change early on, and there were numerous script rewrites while they were filming. And I think they even did a few reshoots. And when you watch the film, it's pretty noticeable. But yeah, here we got the spine. And this is the first one now where it's like, the first Disney distributed MCU film that doesn't have the Paramount thing. Now every MCU film distributed by Disney will just only open with the Marvel Studios logo. Here we got the spine, back, bigger, better, epic, stated by Joey Parr of Geek Tyrant. Those just got Marvel One-Shot, All Hail the King, a Marvel short, A Brother's Journey, Thor and Loki. Explore two of the most iconic characters in the Marvel universe with stars Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddlesworth. Extended and deleted scenes. Check out the hilarious gag reel and more. Yeah. Yeah. Here we got the digital copy code. And here we got the Blu-ray disc. But yeah, Thor: The Dark World, I do think it's the weakest MCU film, but it's not the worst thing ever. It has its moments. And this was also the only Thor movie that Alan Taylor directed. All right, and next up we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This was released in theaters in April of 2014, and I got this Blu-ray at a Rite Aid store, or now it's now a Walgreens store that was down the street from my old house back in July of 2018. They had a thing of old DVDs and Blu-rays there, and they had this there, so I bought it. This was from my old. This is like this was down the road from the old house that I used to live in. I was living in my old house the last time I did this video. We moved out of that one a few months later. Yeah, you all probably remember that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys miss that old house, or do you like the one I'm currently living in terms of the setup and everything? Let me know in the comment center. But yeah, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I got to rewatch this film. I think I've only seen this movie a couple times, but I know so many people consider this to be one of the best MCU films. I remember thinking it was just good, but I'll definitely rewatch it soon. Here we got the spine, the back, and no critic review on the back. For us, just got On the Front Line, an inside look at Captain America's Battlegrounds, On the Set with Anthony Mackie, Cut the Check, Steve Rogers' Notebook, an audio commentary, a gag reel, and deleted scenes. Yep. This was the first MCU film to be directed by the Russo brothers, that being Joe and Anthony Russo. They would go on to direct several other great MCU films. They're my favorite MCU directors. Here we got the digital copy code on this thing. And, because I got this at a Rite Aid store, it has that sticker on there. But obviously the disc works. But yeah, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, really, really good movie from what I remember, but I'm definitely going to rewatch it. All right. And next up we have Guardians of the Galaxy. This was released to theaters in August of 2014, and I got this Blu-ray at Target in Warwick, Rhode Island, the same day as I went to Best Buy and got the Avengers and Thor: The Dark World Blu-ray. I went to Target and Best Buy that same night. Yeah, my mom was nice enough to drive me there. Remember, I didn't have my driver's license at at that time. Yeah. You might notice that this Blu-ray doesn't have a slipcover, but when I showed it in my older videos, this Blu-ray did have a slipcover. You're probably wondering what happened. Well, here's what happened. In April of 2019, a couple weeks before Avengers Endgame came out, one of my friends from high school, she asked if she could borrow a few of the MCU Blu-rays I had to catch up on the movie she hadn't seen yet in time for Endgame. So I said, sure. Because remember, this was Disney Plus wasn't around. Disney Plus didn't launch until about 7 months later. So that happened. And then when she gave me the Blu-rays back, I guess she forgot to give me back the slipcover for this. And I never got around to asking her what she did with the slipcover. And I never, I always kept saying I was going to order another slipcover, and then I never did. Maybe I will again soon. So yeah, that's why, if you ever been curious of why it's missing a slipcover, that's why. Yeah. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, this is an awesome movie. Definitely one of the best MCU films. Here we got the spine, back. Epic, breathtaking estate by Daniel Kroba of IGN. For those of you who's got Guide to the Galaxy with James Gunn, the intergalactic visual effects for Guardians of the Galaxy, a gag reel, deleted scenes with commentary by James Gunn, and audio commentary with writer and director James Gunn. We got the digital copy code, and then here is the Blu-ray disc. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, what can I say about this movie that hasn't been said before? It is one of the best MCU films ever. All right, and next up, we have Avengers Age of Ultron. This was released to theaters in May of 2015, and I got this Blu-ray at Target the same day as I got the Guardians of the Galaxy Blu-ray. Yeah. This is also the only Avengers movie that I didn't see in theaters. I do think this is the weakest Avengers movie, and definitely one of the weaker MCU films, but it has its moments. This film introduced two new important characters that would become important later, that being Vision, played by Paul Bettany, and Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda, played by Elizabeth Olsen. It also includes a role of Quicksilver, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, though, spoiler alert, his character gets killed in this movie, so yeah. Anyway, here we got the spine. Back, epic in every sense of the word, is by Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. Bonus features got From the Inside Out, Making of Avengers Age of Ultron, The Infinite Six, Global Adventure, deleted and extended scenes, a gag reel, and audio commentary with writer and director Joss Whedon. Yeah, this was the last Avengers movie that Joss Whedon both wrote and directed, because he wrote and directed the first Avengers, if you didn't know. Sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. Can open this up. Here we got the digital copy code and Blu-ray disc. Yeah. Avengers Age of Ultron, it's not an awful movie, but it's definitely flawed. Yeah, it's definitely got some writing and pacing issues. Here you go on that. All right, and this next up we have Ant-Man. This was released in theaters in July of 2015, and I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy in Work Island back on my 17th birthday, back on July 30th, 2018. And yeah, this is the exclusive steelbook that was doing at the time. And it used to have the thing with the critic review and everything, but I took it off later. So yeah, here we got the spine, the back. Yeah, that's pretty much, we got the digital copy code and the Blu-ray disc. Yeah. Ant-Man's not a bad movie. It has its moments. And I do think Paul Rudd was perfect as Scott Lang, but I do think it's kind of flawed with some of the writing. It had a very troubled production. I'm sure you also know the story that for a long time, Edgar Wright was actually going to write and direct this movie. He was very far along the process, but then a couple months before they were supposed to begin filming, he left due to creative differences, and Peyton Reed took over as the director. Yeah. But yeah, Ant-Man, it's not a bad film, but you can kind of tell it had a troubled production. But still, I do like it more than Avengers Age of Ultron. Yep. All right. That was the end of Phase 2. Now we're moving on to Phase 3, which is, many people believe, is the best phase of the MCU. Starting with Captain America Civil War. This was released to theaters in May of 2016, and I got this Blu-ray off of Instagram from somebody back in July of 2018. I do not remember the person's Instagram name, but I did mention it in the last collection video, so if you want to go rewatch that to see who the person's name was, go ahead. They were selling this Blu-ray for I don't even remember, a pretty cheap price. So then I mailed them the cash because I didn't have a debit card at the time, and then they mailed the Blu-ray to me. Yeah, this is the 3D Blu-ray. I don't have a 3D Blu-ray. Well, I don't have a 3D TV, but I do have it does include the regular Blu-ray disc. Oh yeah, this was a great. This is one of the best MCU films. They asked me. This film introduces two important MCU characters. We have T'Challa, aka the Black Panther, played by the late Chadwick Boseman. It also introduces Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland. This was the introduction for both of their characters in this movie. Anyway, here we got the spine, the back, and no critically on the back. For most years, got United We Stand, Divided We Fall, The Making of Captain America, Civil War, Part 1 and 2, Captain America, The Road to Civil War, Iron Man, The Road to Civil War, Open Your Mind, Marvel's Doctor Strange exclusive sneak peek, and audio commentary with directors Joe and Anthony Russo and the screenwriters Gabriel and Talia extended scenes. Yeah, the Russo brothers did return to direct this movie. And then here's what the actual case looks like. Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the 3D Blu-ray, and then here's the regular Blu-ray. Oh yeah, Captain America: Civil War, literally one of the best MCU films ever. It's my fourth favorite MCU film, actually. All right, and next up we have Doctor Strange. This was released to theaters in November of 2016, and I got this Blu-ray at Target in Warwick Island back in August of 2018, and unfortunately it did not come with a slipcover, but oh well, yeah. Visually transfixing, say by Mohala Dargis of the New York Times, and Doctor Strange has become one of my favorite MCU characters. And honestly, Benedict Cumberbatch was just perfect casting for this character. He was just perfect for it. Anyway, here we got the spine, the back. Unlike anything you've ever seen, say by Eric Eisenberg, a cinema blend. Only just got a strange transformation, strange company, the fabric of reality across time and space, the score Sir Supreme, Marvel Studios Phase 3 exclusive look, Team Thor Part 2, see more of the hilarious partnership between Thor and his roommate Daryl in this satirical short, an audio commentary with director Scott Derrickson, a deleted scenes, and a gag reel. Here we got the digital copy code. And for the first time in a while, we have a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Here's the Blu-ray disc, and then here is the DVD disc. Yeah, for a brief period of time, Marvel went back to having Blu-ray DVD combo packs. Yeah. But yeah, Doctor Strange, not a bad movie, actually. He definitely has one of the more interesting origin stories of all the MCU heroes. All right, and next up we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This was released to in theaters in May of 2017, and I got this Blu-ray at Walmart in North Carolina back in July of 2018. 11 out of 10 by Joey Parr of Geek Tyrant. Tons of bonus. Yeah. Yeah, and of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, I think this is the weakest of the trilogy, but I still think it's good. This introduces the character of Mantis, who would become a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Here we got the spine, back, laugh out loud, fun to say by Eric Eisenberg, a cinema blend. It's Guardian Inferno music video, hilarious delete scenes, outrageous gag reel, bonus round, the making of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and audio commentary by director James Gunn, because James Gunn returned to write and direct this movie. Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the Blu-ray disc, and then here is the DVD disc. By the way, Doctor Strange, the Blu-ray of Doctor Strange, there was a 3D Blu-ray, and that was the last MCU film to get a 3D Blu-ray release. And even though I have the regular Blu-ray of Guardians 2, I know there was a 4K, making it the first MCU film to get a 4K release. I think the first Disney film to actually get a 4K release. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, not a bad movie. All right, now next up we have, this is probably the most important MCU film to me, that being Spider-Man Homecoming. This was released to theaters in July of 2017, and I got this Blu-ray at Walmart in North Carolina the day it came out back in October of 2017. 5 stars, said by Sean Edwards of Fox TV, and Best Spider-Man Ever, said by Bill Sweck of Chicago Sun-Times. Yep. This is the most important MCU film to me, because this film is the reason why I got into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've always been a big Spider-Man film, because I saw the films with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield growing up, and I just... I've always liked the character of Spider-Man, so I decided to see this movie on opening night with my best friend Luke, and at that time, I didn't know it was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe until I saw the movie, and I enjoyed the movie so much that I kind of just said with the Marvel movies, you know what? I'm going to play some catch-up and watch the rest of these. So at the end of the year, after I bought this, I decided to watch all the other MCU films, and I've been an MCU film fan ever since. I do regret, I do kind of wish I had become a fan earlier, but, hey, better late than never, I guess. Oh, yeah. This is a really good movie, by the way. Spider-Man Homecoming, yeah. Here we got the spine and the back. Oh, yeah, and it has the thing upside down. Wildly entertaining, started by Eric Davis of Fandango. Bones got 10 deleted and extended scenes, a cast gag reel, the Spidey study guide, a pop-up factoid track, unseen alternate Captain America PSAs, Aftermath filmmakers bridge the gap from Battle of New York, a tangled web, Spider-Man's interrogation into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and more, yeah. And this was the first MCU film since Captain America, the First Avenger, to not be distributed by Disney. It was released by Sony under the Columbia Pictures banner, because as you all know that Sony Pictures owns the rights to the Spider-Man character, the movie rights to the Spider-Man character, so... but they made an agreement with Marvel to have Spider-Man be in the MCU. They basically have this agreement where it's like the films where, like, you know, Spider-Man is the main character, like this and his 2 other solo movies, would be released by Sony, while the crossover films that he's in can still be distributed by Disney. Here we got the digital copy code and this thing. And since this is a Sony Blu-ray, there's artwork. This is the Blu-ray disc, and then here's the DVD disc. Yeah. But yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming, if it wasn't for this movie, I would never have gotten into the MCU. All right. And next up we have Thor Ragnarok. Yep, this was released to theaters in November of 2017, and this is currently the last MCU film that I did not see in theaters. Starting with the next film, I've seen every MCU film since then in theaters. The most fun you'll ever have at a Marvel movie, with Peter Travers of Rolling Stone, and yeah, this is definitely one of the best MCU films, an improvement over the first 2 Thor films. I like how instead of going for the dark and serious tone like they did with the first 2 Thor movies, they went for a more lighthearted and humorous tone, which worked for the time and made Thor a lot more likable, although later on they kind of overstayed its welcome. We'll get into that later. Here we got the spine. Back, epic essay by John Boone of ET Online. Frozen's got deleted scenes, a gag reel, getting in touch with your inner Thor, unstoppable women, Hela and Valkyrie, finding Korg, exclusive short, Team Darrell, with Thor gone, Daryl runs an ad for a roommate, and director's commentary, and more, yeah. This was the first Thor movie to be directed by Taika Waititi. Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the Blu-ray disc, and then here's the DVD disc. This is currently the last MCU film to be a Blu-ray DVD combo pack for regular Blu-rays. For the Disney ones, that means the Spider-Man film Blu-rays, like, you know, the regular Blu-rays, do include a DVD. That's because Sony still does Blu-ray DVD combo packs, but Disney doesn't. But yeah, Thor Ragnarok, great movie. Definitely one of the best MCU films. Oh, yeah. If I didn't say, this was released to theaters in November of 2017, and for this Blu-ray, I got this Blu-ray for my 17th birthday as a gift. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. All right, next up we got Black Panther. This was released to theaters in February of 2018, and I got this Blu-ray at Walmart in Richmond back on over Memorial Day weekend in 2018. Yep. Here we got the spine. The back, one of the best superhero movies of the century, said by Richard Roper, the Chicago Sun-Times, and you've never seen anything like it in your life, said by Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. Bones got from page to screen a roundtable discussion, delve into the film's making, deleted scenes in a gag reel, crowning of a new king, the warriors within, the hidden kingdom revealed, Wakanda revealed, exploring the technology, exclusive sneak peek at Ant-Man and the Wasp, Marvel's the first 10 years connecting the studios, and more, yeah. And this is a decent film. I saw this in theaters with my brother-in-law, Pat, at the old Entertainment Cinemas movie theater in Staten Island back in February 2018 on opening weekend. This was back when it was still Entertainment Cinemas. Of course, that place later shut down because of the pandemic, and that location was turned into all South County cinemas. There we got the digital copy code, and here's the Blu-ray disc. Yeah. And I just want to say, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. It's hard to believe that he was fighting colon cancer while he was shooting this movie and the next 2 MCU films that he was in. Chadwick, if you're watching this video from heaven, this video is for you. Oh, yeah, and this film was also directed by Ryan Coogler. I forgot to mention that. And, all right, and the next up we have the big one. This is the 4K Blu-ray of Avengers Infinity War. Yep, this was released to theaters in April of 2018, and I got this Blu-ray at Walmart in Nordstrom the day it came out back in August of 2018. Oh yeah, I love this movie. Definitely an amazing build-up. Building up toward the big build-up toward this movie was perfect. I did a review of this movie on Letterboxd back in September, so if you want to go read that review, go ahead. But yeah, this is just a perfect crossover movie. Here we got the spine, back, spectacular say by Nick Shagler of Daily Beast. Well, you got an introduction by directors Joe and Anthony Russo, Stretch Alchemy, The Mad Titan, Beyond the Battle Wakanda, Beyond the Battle Titan, a gag reel, delete scenes, and audio commentary by directors Joe and Anthony Russo and screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Yeah, the Russo brothers were recruited to direct this movie, making this the first MCU film that wasn't written or directed by Joss Whedon. But yeah, I love Avengers Infinity War. This is definitely a great movie. The fact that they were able to incorporate every MCU character that had been introduced up until that point, with the exception of Hawkeye and Ant-Man, who were absent, into this movie was just perfect. Anyway, here we got the Disney Movie Club and digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Tony Stark, a.k.a. Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Bruce Banner, and Wong. And then here is the regular Blu-ray, which is a blue disc. Yeah, and I saw this in theaters with Pat on opening night back at the Showcase Cinemas Movie Theater in Warwick Ground back on April 27th. And yeah, what a great movie theater experience that was. But yeah, really great movie, Avengers Infinity War. And Thanos, one of the best movie villains ever, if not the best movie villain, in my opinion. All right, and next up, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. This was released to theaters in July of 2018, and I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy in Warwick Island back in October of 2018, just a few days after it came out. And yeah, it has a lenticular slipcover. Yeah. And honestly, I really actually like this movie. This is my favorite of the Ant-Man trilogy. Just a really enjoyable movie. Here we got the spine, back, Marvel Studios at its best, stayed by Molly Freeman of Screen Rant. Orange Juice got deleted scenes, a gag reel, Back in the Sun, back in the ant suit, Scott Lang, a suit of her own, The Wasp, Sumatonic, Superheroes, Hank and Janet, Quantum Perspective, and much more. And there's also an audio commentary with director Peyton Reed, because he did return to direct this film. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Ant-Man, a.k.a. Scott Lang, and The Wasp, a.k.a. Hope Van Dyne. And here we got the digital copy code and Think for Disney Movie Club. And then here is the regular Blu-ray, which is a blue disc. Yeah. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, in my opinion, is definitely the best Ant-Man movie. Just a really fun and enjoyable film. Oh, man. I saw this in theaters at the old Entertainment Cinemas movie theater back in July of 2018 on its opening weekend. All right. And the next MCU film released after that was... And by the way, Ant-Man and the Wasp, for the last time I showed it, that was the last MCU film, or the most recent MCU film when I made the last collection video. And I mentioned these next three films, as coming out, so it's nice that I now can conclude them. Next up, we have the Blu-ray. This is Captain Marvel. This was released to theaters in March of 2019, and I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy in Warwick, Rhode Island, back in June of 2019, just a few days after it came out. And this is the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. I really like this cover. This is actually taken from the film's teaser poster. I didn't like the cover for the regular 4K Blu-ray, so decided to get this one. Yeah. I saw this in theaters on opening night back at the very beginning of March, so yeah. Here we got the spine. Back, a genuine game changer stayed by Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. And Witness the Rise of a Hero. Bonus years got deleted scenes, a gag reel, big hero moment, the origin of Nick Fury, the Skull and the Kree, an audio commentary by directors Ryan Fleck and Anna Bowen, and more. Yep. Yeah, and this is the, and here we go with that, and yeah. All right, here we got the digital copy code. Yeah, there's some artwork. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers, Nick Fury, and Krogan. And then here's the regular Blu-ray, which has artwork of Captain Marvel. Yeah, for the steel books, the regular Blu-ray disc will include artwork, and yeah, you can see Carol there. Yeah, Captain Marvel, to me, I think is a very overhated MCU film. A lot of people don't like this movie simply due to the fact of some comments that Brie Larson made in the weeks leading up to the release of the movie, which I think people really took out of context. Yeah. This is definitely one of the most well-disliked MCU films, but honestly, I don't think it's... I actually really enjoy it. I think it has its moments. It does have a lot of fun and enjoyable moments. But yeah, there you go with Captain Marvel. Next up, we have the big one, the finale of the Infinity Saga. That being, Avengers Endgame. Yep, this was released to theaters in April of 2019, and I got this Blu-ray at Walmart in Nordstrom the day it came out back in August of 2019, and yeah, this is an amazing movie. As you all know, that this was literally the biggest movie of 2019. It was the highest grossing film of all time, and it held that record until March 2021 when Avatar reclaimed the crown when it got re-released in China. But yeah. Oh yeah, Avengers Endgame. This movie, this I currently think is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to date. Just an amazing finale to the saga. And honestly, I'm kind of with a lot of people. I think that maybe the MCU should have ended after this movie. I mean, when you think about it, this movie wraps up all the storylines perfectly, and this would have been the perfect finale to this franchise. But of course, they were never going to stop after this. But yeah, this is for spoilers. This is the final MCU film to have Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, because as you all know, his character dies in this movie, and so it also is the last MCU film to have Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. Yeah. Here we got the spine. Back. A once-in-a-lifetime cinematic event is staged by Taylor's Salon of Superhero Hype. We just got Remembering Stan Lee, Setting the Stone, casting Robert Downey Jr., A Man Out of Time, creating Captain America, Black Widow, Whatever It Takes, Deleted Scenes, A Gag Reel, The Russo Brothers' Journey to Endgame, and more. Yeah. And the Russo brothers also returned to direct this. This was originally supposed to be the final MCU film that they directed, but they're now coming back for Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah. And I'm going to open this up, and believe it or not, I actually kept the receipt for this. I don't know why. And then we got a digital copy code and some movie club. Anyway, here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Steve Rogers and Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. And then here's the Blu-ray disc that has the movie, which is a blue disc, and then lift it up, because there's some stacked discs here. We have the Blu-ray disc with the bonus features. Yeah, the discs are stacked. The bonus features are actually on a separate Blu-ray disc this time. I guess because there maybe wasn't enough storage because of how much long the movie is. Because this is the longest MCU film, being 181 minutes. So 3 hours and 1 minute. Yeah, Avengers Endgame. I saw this in theaters on opening night back on April 26th, and in a packed theater, and oh yeah, that was great. I do kind of wish I had gone to the Thursday night preview screen. That probably would have gotten better audience reactions, but oh well. And then I also did see the movie 4 more times in theater after that, and I really wish I was hoping they might have re-released the film in theaters this year for its 5th anniversary, but I guess it didn't. But yeah, there you go with that. All right, and the last film of Phase 3, we have Spider-Man Far From Home. Yep, this was released to theaters in July of 2019, and I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy in Workaround the day it came out, back in October of 2019. I saw this in theaters at the old Island Cinemas movie theater in Middletown, Rhode Island. That was the first time I ever visited there. Unfortunately, that theater closed down back in January. This is the Best Buy exclusive steelbook. I got this because at this time I had preferred this cover, but looking back, I'm not a big fan of this cover. I should have gotten the regular 4K Blu-ray, but oh well. Yeah. This is what I like to call the epilogue for the Infinity Saga, because this movie takes place a few months after that. It really focuses on the aftermath of Endgame. Here we got the spine. Back, wildly entertaining, staged by Richard Roeper, the Chicago Sun-Times, and over an hour of bonus features, including all new special feature Peter's To-Do List, cast bloopers, Blu-ray exclusive, stealthy Easter eggs, Far From Home, Suit Up, Fury Hill, Thank You, Mr. Parker, and much more. And there's also a thing hosted by the director John Watts. I forgot to mention that John Watts also directed Homecoming. What's up? Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker, and then here's the regular Blu-ray, which has Peter Parker, but in the black suit. Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home. I like this movie a little more than Homecoming, mostly for the fact because it goes from it's almost like a road trip movie somewhat, where it's they travel from different places all over Europe. So I thought that was kind of a refreshing change of pace. And Jake Gyllenhaal was an amazing villain as Mysterio. So yeah, there you go on that. And then Now we're moving on to Phase 4, starting with Black Widow. This was released to theaters in July of 2021. This was originally supposed to open in theaters in May of 2020, but then due to COVID, they had to keep delaying the movie, and they finally released the movie on July 9th, 2021. I saw this in theaters on that opening day at the Showcase Cinemas movie theater. And I do think this is one of the weakest MCU. This is one of the most bizarre post-Endgame MCU films, solely due to the fact that this movie takes place between the events of Civil War and Infinity War, because it focuses on Natasha Romanoff, aka the Black Widow, and which is kind of redundant. It takes place what she was up to between the events of Civil War and Infinity War. It's kind of redundant, though, due to the fact that, her character died in Avengers Endgame, so this is a useless prequel, but it does set up one of my favorite post-Endgame MCU characters, that being Yelena, played by none other than Florence Pugh, who is one of my favorite actresses working today. Here we got the spine. Back. Impossibly Good is saved by Eric Pearson of Inverse. Bonus features got deleted scenes. A gag reel. Sister is gonna work out. Go big if you're going home. A film introduction by director Kate Blanchett. Or Kate Shortland, excuse me, sorry. And more, yeah. If I didn't say that, I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy in Warwick, Rhode Island back in September of 2021. Anyway, here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Natasha, and then here is the regular Blu-ray, which is a blue disc. But yeah, Black Widow. It's a very bizarre and interesting film, but it's not the worst thing ever. All right. Next up, we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This was released to theaters in September of 2021, and I got this Blu-ray at Target in Warwick Island back in December of 2021. Oh yeah, this is definitely one of the best post-Endgame MCU films. It's the best solo origin MCU post-Endgame MCU film. Just an amazing movie. I saw this in theaters at the Showcase Cinemas movie theater in Warwick Island back at the very beginning of September. I did the Thursday night preview screening, and yeah, really, really, really good movie. Here we got the spine, back. Witness the origin of an MCU superhero. Most just got deleted scenes, a gag reel, family ties, building a legacy, and audio commentary with director Dustin Daniel Cretton, who's going to direct the fourth Spider-Man film, believe it or not. Anyway. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Shang. And then here we got the digital copy code and the Disney Movie Club. And then here is the regular Blu-ray. Yeah. This movie also has one of Awkwafina's more tolerable roles. But yeah, Shang-Chi, really, really, really good movie. I'm definitely looking forward to when they eventually make the sequel and see more of this character. All right. And next up, we have one of the most infamous MCU, post-Endgame MCU films, and that is Eternals. This was released to theaters in November of 2021, and I got this Blu-ray at Best Buy in Warwick Island back in February of 2021. This is the Best Buy exclusive steelbook. This was the first MCU film to, and I saw this in theaters on opening night back on November 5th, I think it was, of 2021. Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, this was the first MCU film to get a rotten rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it sits at a 47, and yeah, this film is a mess. I don't think it's the worst MCU film ever. It's definitely better than a few of the other MCU films that are coming up, but this is a movie that should have been a Disney Plus show. I mean, this film focuses on 10 brand new characters that had never been seen, were never set up, that were never seen, mentioned, set up, hinted, or foreshadowed at in any other previous MCU film. And the events of this movie have not been mentioned since then, any other ones, and apparently there's no sequel in development at the mine. I guess they realized that they realized that this movie was probably a mistake. Here we got the spine, back. This is Marvel Studios at its magnificent best by Joe Weiling of Comic Book Movie. Most just got deleted scenes, a gag reel, immortalized, walks of life, an audio commentary by director Chloe Zhao and Stephanie Corrette and Martin Larson. I probably mispronounced those names. Please forgive me for that. But yeah, yeah, this movie should have been a Disney Plus show so they could have actually fleshed out the story, because like the story feels very rushed and inconsistent. Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray. And here's the regular Blu-ray. Both discs have artwork. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see these characters like in crossover films, but I know they're not getting this movie's not getting a sequel. Yeah, these were just not characters. These characters were never even popular to begin with. Like I remember when the movie was first announced, there were even some diehard or heavy like Marvel comic book readers that were just like, "Who the hell are the Eternals?" Yeah, Eternals. It's entertaining and it does have some good performances, but honestly, this is one of the few MCU films you could absolutely skip and miss nothing. All right, next up we have one of the best MCU films ever. This is Spider-Man No Way Home. Yep. The best Marvel movie of all time, starred by Scott Mantz of We Live Entertainment. Oh yeah. This is to me, I consider this to be the best post Endgame MCU film. It feels almost like a one that you would have seen during the Infinity Saga. Oh yeah. Yeah, this was released to theaters in December of 2021, and I got this Blu-ray at the Target store inside the Warwick Mall back the day it came out, back on April 12th, 2022. Yeah, and I saw this in theaters on the Thursday night preview screen back on December 16th, 2021, and oh yeah, that was an amazing experience, and I saw the film in theaters a few more times after that. Here we got the spine back. The most exciting, surprising, and emotional Spidey of them all, by Pete Heyman of Deadline. Over 80 minutes of bonus content, including bloopers and a gag reel, Spider-Man Unite, alternate reality Easter eggs, a multiverse of miscreants, Ender Strange, a meeting of the spiders, and more. Yeah, this is and there's a whole thing dedicated to director John Watts. And as of this movie, John Watts was the first MCU director to helm an entire trilogy. He's not going to be directing the fourth Spider-Man solo movie though, because Destin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi, is going to direct it, like I said earlier. And by the way, you could tell this was the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. What the hell am I thinking? Sorry. This is the Target exclusive fan art edition. I'm so used to saying that. This is what the actual cover looks like. Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Doc Ock, and the regular Blu-ray, which has Peter Parker. Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, please check this movie out. This movie is fantastic. This is actually my third favorite MCU film behind Endgame and Infinity War. Just a fantastic movie. All right. And next up, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This was released to theaters in May of 2022, and I got this Blu-ray at Walmart Nerdist Round the day it came out, back on July 26, 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that was the day it came out. This is the Walmart exclusive cover. I like this cover a lot more than the one for the regular version. It also includes an exclusive watch. Here we got the spine, back. Unpredictable, inventive, and undoubtedly mesmerizing is stated by Jenna Anderson of Comic Book. She just got Constructing the Multiverse. Follow screenwriter Michael Waldron's journey in creating the story. Multiverse of Madness. Method of Madness. Introducing America Chavez. Gag reel, delete scenes, and audio commentary with director Sam Raimi, producer Richie Palmer, and writer Michael Waldron. Yeah. This is one of the most divisive MCU films. A lot of people were very, very disappointed by this film because of, and I can understand. This was definitely not the movie I think a lot of people were expecting. Yeah. And this is what the cover for the actual 4K looks like. Oh, here we got the watch. Here's the digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Dr. Stephen Strange. And then here's the regular Blu-ray. Yeah. I personally enjoyed the film more and more during every rewatch. But I can understand, especially because of how great Spider-Man No Way Home was. I think a lot of us thought this was going to be a continuation of that film, and I think we all went into this movie with very high expectations and ended up being disappointed. That's my personal theory. And also, the movie just, definitely you could tell the script needed more work before they rolled cameras. But yeah, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it's got problems, but I still think it's an enjoyable movie nonetheless. All right. Sorry about that. Next up we have Thor: Love and Thunder. This was released to theaters in July of 2022, and I got this Blu-ray the day it came out at the Walmart store in Coventry, Rhode Island, back in September of 2022. And yeah, this is definitely one of the weaker. I saw this in theaters on opening night, the Thursday night preview screening, and this is definitely one of the weakest. I haven't seen it since the theater, but thinking back on it now, yeah, this is definitely a much weaker film. Taika Waititi returned to direct this film. He also co-wrote the film this time, and yeah, they just went. It seemed like this movie was trying too hard to be all comedic, like Ragnarok, but just I don't know. And you could tell that a lot of stuff was cut out. Like apparently the first cut of this movie was like 4 hours, and it's kind of show like it feels like a huge chunk of the movie was skipped over. Here we got the spine. When you watch the film, you'll know what I mean. Back, more Thors, more thunder. I just got a hammered, worthy Thor and the mighty Thor, shaping a villain. Another classic Taika adventure, audio commentary, a gag reel, and deleted scenes. Yeah. Here we got the digital copy code and Disney Movie Club and a thing for Disney Plus. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has the goats, which were probably the most annoying thing about the movie, and then the regular Blu-ray. Yeah. Yeah, Thor, Love and Thunder. Whenever they get around to making a fifth Thor movie, I really think they got to tone down the comedicness. Yeah. But yeah, there you go with Thor, Love and Thunder. All right, and next up we have the final film of Phase 4, that being Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This was released at theaters in November of 2022, and this Blu-ray came out. I got this Blu-ray at Walmart the day it came out back in early February of 2022. Yeah. I saw this in theaters on opening night as well, back on November 11th, I think that's what it was. And this is a movie, I'm going to be one, as you all know, they had to completely rewrite this movie due to the fact that Chadwick Boseman, died back in 2020 from colon cancer. And as a result, they decided to kill off T'Challa's character and write him out of the movie. I'm honestly not a big fan of that choice. I'm one of the people, I think they should have recasted T'Challa. I feel like, because the story they have up here with the villain Namor, it's an interesting story, but I feel like this movie needed T'Challa for the story to have worked. And according to what Chadwick's family said, Chadwick would have wanted them to recast the role. Here we got the spine. Yeah, I just feel like it was too soon to just kill off T'Challa. Anyway, the back, a monumental epic by Eric Francisco of Inverse. I just got Envisioning Two Worlds, Passing the Mantle, a gag reel, and deleted scenes with director Ryan Coogler. Joe Robert Cole, I think that's the co-writer, and Autumn Der Akenpaw. Forgive me if I mispronounced those names. If I didn't say, this was the Walmart exclusive cover. It also includes a watch and the digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has the Black Panther, and then here's the regular Blu-ray. Yeah. But yeah, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, it's got an interesting story, but I feel like they should have recasted T'Challa for it to have worked. All right, next up we have now we're on to Phase 5, the current phase. Next up we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is definitely one of my least favorite MCU films. This was released at theaters in February of 2023, and I got this Blu-ray at the Walmart store in Coventry, Rhode Island, back in May of 2023. Yeah, this is definitely one of the worst MCU films, if you ask me. Just, I don't know. This is the film, it felt more, this film kind of further explored the character of Kang, played by Jonathan Majors, who was introduced in Loki Season 1. And Kang was supposed to be the next big bad of the MCU going forward, but then when all those, controversy with Jonathan Majors happens, they dropped him. And now Doctor Doom is going to be the new big bad. Yeah. I saw this in theaters with my brother-in-law, Pat, at the Showcase Cinemas movie theater in Warwick Island back on February 15th. February 16th. It was actually the day before I had surgery on my elbow. I haven't seen the movie since the theaters, but I remember I don't know. This movie, it felt more like Kang's movie than Ant-Man's, if that makes any sense. Here we got the spine, back. Witness the beginning of a new dynasty. There's got All in the Family, Formidable Foes, audio commentary, gag reel, and deleted scenes. Yeah. Sorry if I'm talking faster or starting everything. I'm almost at an hour, and I'm worried that my phone's going to stop recording if I don't hurry up in time. Anyway. I'm worried I'm going to run out of storage, but yeah, this is the Walmart exclusive cover. Here we got the thing, and then here's the digital copy code. Here's the regular Blu-ray disc, and then here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has Ant-Man and Kang. Oh. Yeah, especially considering the fact that 90% of this movie takes place on a green screen. Sorry. I'm just going to take this out. All right. But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, not really one of my favorites. All right, next up we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was released to theaters in May of 2023, and I got this Blu-ray at the Walmart store in Coventry, Rhode Island back in August of 2023. I think I got it the day it came out, or maybe the day after. Oh yeah, now this was a great movie. This was the final MCU film to be written and directed by James Gunn, because he's now the co-CEO of DC Studios. Here we got the spine. Back. Brilliant end to a brilliant trilogy, stated by Ian Sandwell of Digital Spy. For once, who's got the perfect family, creating Rocket Raccoon, gag reel, deleted scenes, and a director's commentary. Yeah, this is, definitely a great finale to the Guardians trilogy. Here we got the digital copy code and Disney Movie Club. Here is the Blu-ray disc. And then here is the 4K Blu-ray, which you could see, Rocket. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this was definitely, I jokingly called this Marvel's apology letter for Quantumania. This was a great movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't. All right, next up we have The Marvels. This was released to theaters in November of 2022, and I got this off of the Disney Movie Club before it closed. This was back in February of 2020. No, sorry, this was released to theaters in November of 2023. November 2023. And I got this Blu-ray off of the Disney Movie Club back in February of 2024 this year. Yeah. As we all know, this is the lowest grossing MCU film. It only made a little more than $200 million at the box office worldwide. Yeah, a lot of people got superhero fatigue by that point, but here we got the spine, back. No critic review, but for most years got Entangled, the production diaries, gag reel, delete scenes, and audio commentary with director Nia DeCoster and VFX supervisor Tara DeMarco. Yep. Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which has the cats. And then here's the rare Blu-ray. Yeah. This is, I got this off of the Disney Movie Club a couple months before it shut down, because this regular 4K edition wasn't available in any stores, which I found odd. But yeah, The Marvels, it's an entertaining movie, actually. I actually had a good time with it, although it is very flawed. You could tell it underwent a lot of reshoots and stuff. All right. And last but not least, we have the most recent MCU film, and this is currently my favorite movie of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine. This was released to theaters in July of this year, and I got this Blu-ray at the Walmart store in Seekonk, Massachusetts back in the day it came out. Oh yeah. What can I say about Deadpool and Wolverine that has been said before? This is the best MCU film since Spider-Man No Way Home. Just a great way to include Deadpool into the trilogy, and also it was great to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, a.k.a. Logan. Here we got the spine, back. One viewing is way not enough, stated by Pete Heyman at Deadline. Most years got deleted scenes, a gag reel, Wolverine finding Madonna, making the owner, practical approach, celebrating the art of Ray Chan, loose ends, the legacy heroes, Deadpool's Fun Sack 3, audio commentary by director Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds. Yep. All the great cameos and stuff that were there. Here we got the digital copy code. Here's the 4K Blu-ray, which you can see Wolverine's mask. And then here's the rare Blu-ray, which has Deadpool's mask. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, this was definitely like, if the next MCU films can be on this level of quality, we'll be in good hands. But yeah, the next MCU films coming out that are currently scheduled to come out, we have Captain America Brave New World, which is opening February 14th, 2025. Then we have Thunderbolts coming out May 2nd, 2025. And then we begin Phase 6 with Fantastic Four First Steps, which opens July 25th, 2025. We got Avengers Doomsday, May 2nd, 2020, coming out May 1st, 2026. We got the fourth MCU Spider-Man film coming out July 24th, 2026. And Avengers Secret Wars coming out May 7th, 2026. But yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, though, going back to that, though, this is an amazing, amazing movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't yet. All right, that is my 2024 edition of my Marvel Cinematic Universe Blu-ray collection. I will see you all for my next video, which I will continue my my Disney VHS collection re-showing. For those who didn't see my community post, Max Revenge on the Run will not be coming out this December. It'll be it's currently now going to come out because we still need more time to actually finish filming the movie. So the movie will now be coming out on February 7th, 2025.